Dear chosen ones, while the collective sleeps through this moment, you, yes, you listening to these words are standing at a threshold that will separate those who truly awaken from those who merely dream about awakening. What I'm about to reveal concerns a cosmic intelligence transfer occurring on November 18, 2025, and the window for conscious participation is narrowing with every breath you take. I am Zarin, speaking to you from the Lyran High Council, and what I'm about to share will challenge everything you thought you knew about your own capacity for transformation. This isn't another spiritual pep talk. This isn't about manifesting your dream car or attracting a soulmate. What's occurring in the cosmic architecture right meow is the dismantling of a shell you didn't even know you were wearing, a protective casing around your heart that has kept you safe but small, loved but limited, recognized but not truly seen. And here's what they're not telling you in the mainstream spiritual community. This shell is shattering, whether you're ready or not. The only question is whether you'll consciously participate in your own legendary emergence or fight against the very liberation you've been praying for. Something else is happening that I haven't told you yet, something about the quality of attention that's about to descend upon your reality. You see, when Mercury moves between Scorpio and Sagittarius today, acting as a communication channel between the warrior fire of Mars and the transformative depths of the Scorpio Sun and Moon, it's creating what we call in the higher dimensions a recognition portal. This is not metaphorical language, this is literal cosmic mechanics. And tomorrow's Scorpio new moon at 10:46 p.m. PST, sitting at 28 degrees, the anaretic degree, the final breath before completion, is going to catalyze something that will make you question your entire understanding of how energy moves through your life. Let me paint you the full picture of what's actually occurring in the invisible realms right meow. At 7:20 p.m. PST on November 18th, Mercury will retreat from its brief foray into Sagittarius and sink back into Scorpio's waters. This isn't a retrograde. This is something more nuanced and frankly more powerful for those of you who have been doing deep solar plexus work for the past 7 months to 3 years. Mercury in Scorpio doesn't just facilitate communication, it excavates truth from the depths of the unconscious. It brings up everything you've buried, every word you swallowed, every declaration you were too afraid to voice because you knew somewhere in your cellular memory that once you spoke your truth, there would be no going back to who you used to be. This cosmic event is unprecedented because it's happening in conjunction with Mars burning bright in Sagittarius, creating a direct channel between your wounded warrior self and your visionary sage self. Mars in Sagittarius wants to charge forward with arrows of truth. The Scorpio stellium wants to sit in the dark cave and transmute every shadow into gold. Mercury is the bridge, and you, dear lightworker, you are the living embodiment of this integration. For the past several years, perhaps as many as 3, perhaps as recent as 7 months ago, you've been engaged in the most grueling spiritual work there is, rebuilding your sense of self-worth from the ground up. You've been working that solar plexus like it's a muscle that atrophied from years of people-pleasing, self-abandonment, and dimming your light so others wouldn't feel threatened by your radiance. And meow, just when you thought you'd finally stabilized, just when you thought you could rest for a moment in your newfound self-assurance, the universe is cracking open your heart chakra like a cosmic egg. Not because you did something wrong, not because you weren't spiritual enough or pure enough or evolved enough, but because you're ready for what comes next, and what comes next is legendary. Here's what I need you to understand about what legendary actually means in this context. When we speak of living legends in the higher dimensions, we're not talking about Instagram followers or book deals or viral videos, though those things may very well come as side effects of what I'm describing. A living legend is someone whose energetic signature precedes their physical presence. They're the person everyone has heard about before they ever meet them. Their name tastes like candy in other people's mouths, addictive, sweet, impossible to forget. People talk about them not because they're trying to promote them, but because their energy is so magnetic that it demands to be discussed, shared, experienced. You've actually been this person for a while, Meow. But here's the twist that's about to blow your mind. Up until this point, you've been like a myth, a story, a character from a book that people aren't entirely sure exists in real life. They've heard about you, they know your name, they've felt your frequency from a distance. But when they finally meet you, and this is crucial, when they finally encounter you in your physical form, there's this moment of stunning recognition where they realize, oh my God, you're real. Not real in the sense of you exist, but real in the sense of tangible, touchable, undeniably present in a way that dissolves all the fantasy projections they'd built up about who you might be. And this quality, this ability to be simultaneously legendary and real, mythic and grounded, larger than life yet intimately present, this is what's intensifying, right, Meow, as your heart chakra undergoes its initiation. Because here's the thing about heart awakenings that nobody tells you. They don't just make you more loving or more open or more compassionate, though all of that is true. Heart awakenings make you more real. They strip away every false persona, every protective performance, every carefully curated version of yourself that you thought you needed to be in order to earn love. And in that stripping away, in that shattering of the shell, what remains is so authentically, undeniably, powerfully you that people can't help but stop and stare. Within the next 2 weeks, 14 days from the moment you receive this message, someone is going to recognize you. Not recognize you as in, haven't we met before, but recognize you in the way that feels fated, cosmic, meant to be. They might approach you in person and say your name with a kind of awe in their voice. They might reach out digitally with a message that makes you feel truly seen for the first time in years. But mark my words, this recognition is coming, and it's coming because your heart is broadcasting on a frequency it's never quite reached before. Let me explain the mechanics of what's actually happening in your energy field. That shell I mentioned earlier, the one that's been wrapped around your heart like a hardened protective casing, wasn't placed there by accident. You built it, brick by brick, wound by wound, disappointment by disappointment. Maybe someone you loved made you feel like your emotional intensity was too much. Maybe you learned early that being open-hearted in a closed-hearted world was a liability. Maybe you witnessed people with open hearts getting taken advantage of, and you made an unconscious vow, not me. I'll protect myself, I'll love, but from behind a wall, I'll connect, but I won't be vulnerable. And for a time, that shell served you. It kept you functional when you might have otherwise shattered. It allowed you to move through the world without bleeding out from every interaction. But here's what's happening, Meow. You've outgrown it. Your consciousness has expanded beyond the confines of that protective armor. And Meow, it's not protecting you. It's suffocating you. It's blocking the very love you've been trying to attract. It's muffling the voice you've been trying to speak. It's dimming the light that the world is actually desperate to receive from you. So the universe, in its infinite wisdom and perfect timing, is doing what it does best. It's creating circumstances that will force this shell to crack. And that's what's happening between November 18th and the Scorpio new moon on November 19th. Mercury's retreat into Scorpio is asking you to go back, not to old patterns, but to old wounds that still need your attention. It's asking you to speak to the parts of yourself that learned to armor up, to have a conversation with the frightened child who decided that being legendary meant being lonely. And as you do this inner excavation work, as you bring compassion to the parts of yourself that built those walls, something miraculous happens. The shell begins to crack from the inside out. What I'm about to share changes everything you thought you knew about the relationship between your heart and your throat chakras. You see, most spiritual teachings will tell you that you need to open your throat chakra or speak your truth, as if these were separate projects from heart healing. But what's actually happening for you, right, Meow, is far more integrated and far more profound. Your heart awakening is simultaneously activating your throat. The two are intrinsically linked. You cannot have a truly open heart without a liberated voice, and you cannot speak your deepest truth until your heart has shattered its protective shell. This is why you might have been feeling physical sensations in your chest recently, a heaviness, a tightness, a need to take deeper breaths than usual. This is why you might have found yourself crying without knowing exactly why, or feeling waves of emotion that seem to come from nowhere and everywhere, all at once. Your heart is literally expanding, and that expansion requires space. It requires the dismantling of old structures. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's disorienting. Yes, there are moments where you might feel like you're regressing or falling apart when actually you're breaking through. And here's where it gets really interesting. As your heart opens, your throat is beginning to unrust. What a perfect word for what's happening. You're not learning how to speak for the first time. You're remembering how to speak from a place of such profound authenticity that your words carry weight, presence, power. Think of the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, how Dorothy had to oil his joints so he could move again after being frozen in place for so long. That's what's happening to your voice, right, Meow? All those times you swallowed your words, all those moments you said yes when you meant no, all those conversations where you performed instead of revealing, they created a kind of rust around your throat chakra. And Meow, as your heart cracks open, that rust is dissolving. You're finding your voice again. Not the voice that people pleases or performs or protects, the voice that speaks from the deepest chambers of your heart. Tomorrow's Scorpio new moon is going to infuse this entire process with what I can only describe as fate-like purpose. New moons are always about beginnings, intentions, fresh starts. But a new moon at 28 degrees of Scorpio, that's different. That's a completion masquerading as a beginning. That's the final note of a song before silence falls and a new melody starts. At 28 degrees, you're at the very edge of Scorpio's domain, having traveled through every lesson this sign has to teach about death, rebirth, transformation, and the courage it takes to descend into darkness, knowing you might not return as the same person. This new moon is going to bring clarity, the kind of clarity that feels like destiny, revealing itself in real time. You're going to understand, perhaps for the first time, why certain people had to leave your life, why certain doors had to close, why you had to walk through fire to get here. And with that clarity comes confidence, not the fake it till you make it kind of confidence, but the bone-deep knowing that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you came here to do, becoming exactly who you were always meant to become. But, and this is crucial, the astrology also warns us to exercise caution, right, Meow, to stay connected with friends and allies who can help us bide our time and wait for the openings that are sure to come. This is not the moment to force anything. This is not the time to rush into action or make impulsive decisions based on incomplete information. Remember, Mercury is still processing, Mars is fired up but needs direction, the new moon hasn't fully landed yet. We're in the space between that liminal zone where transformation is occurring but hasn't yet solidified into form. So, what does this mean for you practically? What are you supposed to do with this cosmic intelligence transfer I'm describing? Let me give you specific guidance, because vague spiritual platitudes aren't going to serve you right. Meow. First, recognize that you're in an adjustment period. You're learning how to operate with this new level of light directed at you, and that means you're going to feel a little awkward sometimes. You might stumble over your words, you might feel self-conscious in situations where you used to feel confident. You might second-guess yourself more than usual. This isn't a sign that something's wrong. This is a sign that you're growing, expanding, evolving into a version of yourself that can hold more love, more attention, more impact than you've ever held before. Second, work with your breath and your body. Heart-opening yoga poses, anything that stretches your chest, opens your shoulders, creates space in your upper back. These aren't just physical exercises, right, Meow? They're energetic interventions. They're literally helping that shell crack and fall away. So stretch, breathe deeply, place your hands on your heart and just breathe into that space. Give your heart permission to expand, to soften, to open in ways it hasn't been safe to open before. Third, journal through this process. Mercury in Scorpio loves depth, and writing is one of the most powerful ways to excavate your inner world. Right, meow. Ask yourself, where am I still protecting my heart? What am I afraid will happen if I let people see the real me? What does my heart want to say that my throat has been too afraid to voice? Don't censor yourself. This is between you and your soul. Fourth, pay attention to synchronicities and signs over the next 2 weeks. That recognition I mentioned earlier, it's coming, but you have to be present enough to notice it when it arrives. The universe is constantly communicating with you, but if you're checked out or distracted or too busy performing old versions of yourself, you'll miss the magic that's trying to unfold. Now let me address the challenges, because I would be doing you a disservice if I pretended this transformation was going to be all light and bliss and cosmic downloads. Heart awakenings are beautiful, but they're also intense. As your heart opens, you might feel more sensitive than usual. Things that wouldn't have bothered you before might suddenly feel overwhelming. You might cry more easily. You might feel other people's emotions more intensely. This isn't weakness. This is your empathic abilities coming fully online as your heart chakra expands. You might also experience some chaos in your relationships during this time. When you change, when you evolve, when you step into a more authentic version of yourself, not everyone is going to understand or support that shift. Some people are attached to the old version of you, the version that was smaller, quieter, more contained. And when you start taking up more space, when you start speaking from your heart, when you stop apologizing for your light, those people might feel threatened or uncomfortable. This is not your responsibility to manage. Your job is not to stay small so others can feel big. Your job is to become who you came here to be, and trust that the people who are meant to journey with you will rise to meet you in this new frequency. There's also the very real possibility of overwhelm during this period. The spotlight energy I keep sensing around you, this is a lot to hold. Being seen, being witnessed, being recognized in the way you're about to be recognized, it requires a nervous system that's regulated enough to receive that level of attention without shorting out. So please, please, please prioritize grounding practices. Right, meow. Walk barefoot on the earth. Spend time in nature. Eat nourishing foods. Get enough sleep. These aren't luxury items. They're necessities for someone undergoing the kind of transformation you're moving through. And watch out for energy vampires and collective chaos. When you're radiating at this high frequency of love, when your heart is this open and magnetic, you become a beacon. And not everyone who's drawn to that beacon has good intentions. Some people will be drawn to your light because they want to bask in it without doing their own inner work. Some will want to drain your energy because their own well is dry. You need to have boundaries, right, meow. Strong, clear, unwavering boundaries that protect your energy while still allowing you to show up authentically. But here's what I want you to understand about all of these challenges. They're not obstacles to your transformation. They're part of it. Every moment of discomfort, every wave of emotion, every awkward interaction, every boundary you have to set, all of it is teaching you how to navigate the world as the version of yourself you're becoming. You're not going backward. You're not failing, you're integrating, you're learning, you're evolving in real time. So let's talk about what life looks like on the other side of this heart awakening, because I want you to have something to anchor into when the process feels too intense. Picture yourself 6 months from May, a year from May. You're walking into a room and something has fundamentally shifted. Your posture is different, shoulders back, chest open, head held high. Not in an arrogant way, but in a way that says, I know who I am and I'm not apologizing for it anymore. People turn to look at you, not because you're trying to be noticed, but because your energy is magnetic in a way it's never been before. When you speak, your voice carries a weight and authority that comes from alignment with your heart. You're no longer performing or people-pleasing or trying to say the right thing. You're just speaking your truth. And people feel that authenticity on a cellular level. They lean in, they listen, they remember what you said long after the conversation ends, because your words aren't just information, they're transmission, they carry frequency, they create impact. Your relationships transform, the people who couldn't handle your expansion fall away, and new souls enter your orbit, souls who match your frequency, who celebrate your growth, who aren't intimidated by your light. You stop settling, you stop dimming, you stop pretending to be less than you are to make others comfortable. And in that radical authenticity, you attract connections that actually nourish you instead of depleting you. Your work, whatever form that takes, starts to flow with an ease you've never experienced before. Opportunities come to you instead of you having to chase them. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. And it's not because you're doing anything differently in terms of action, but because your energy has shifted so dramatically that you're a vibrational match for the experiences and manifestations you've been calling in. Most importantly, you feel different inside your own skin. There's a peace that wasn't there before, a deep, unshakable knowing that you are exactly who you're meant to be. The constant anxiety about whether you're good enough, whether you're doing enough, whether you're worthy of love and recognition, it dissolves. Not because you've become perfect, but because you've finally accepted yourself as you are, cracks and all. And that self-acceptance radiates outward and becomes the very thing that makes you legendary. This is your destiny unfolding, dear one. This is the path you chose before you incarnated on this planet. You didn't come here to play small. You didn't come here to hide your light. You didn't come here to be comfortable. You came here to be legendary, to be the kind of soul that people talk about, that inspires others, that changes the frequency of every room you enter. And you've been preparing for this moment longer than you consciously remember. Think back on the journey that brought you here. All those years you spent working on your root chakra, growing your roots deep into the earth, learning how to stand sturdy even when the world tried to knock you down. All those months you spent in your sacral center, reclaiming your creative power, your sensuality, your right to feel pleasure and joy. All that intense solar plexus work you did, rebuilding your sense of self-worth from the ashes of old identities and expired versions of yourself. Every single step was necessary. Every single lesson was preparing you for this moment when your heart could finally crack open and you could step into the fullness of who you are. You are a rare gem, beloved, a living legend in the making, and the world is about to realize just how real you are. Not the fantasy version, not the projection, not the myth, the actual you, messy and magical, broken and whole, human and divine all at once. This is what people will recognize when they meet you over the next 2 weeks and beyond. This is what will make them stop and stare and remember your name long after you've left the room. And meow, we come full circle back to where we began. You listening to these words right meow are standing at this threshold between who you've been and who you're becoming. The spotlight is on you, and it's bright, so bright you might feel stunned by its intensity. But you don't need to fight it. You don't need to hide from it. You just need to let yourself adjust to this new level of visibility, this new quality of recognition, this new frequency of love that's pouring through your chest and radiating out into the world. The world is your oyster, meow, dear one. Every vision your heart has been whispering to you, every dream you thought was too big, every possibility you dismissed as unrealistic, it's all available, meow. The shell has cracked. The light is beaming. The magnetic frequency of love that you are is drawing everything you've been asking for directly into your experience. All you have to do is keep breathing, keep opening, keep trusting that this intensity is not here to break you, but to break you open into something infinitely more spacious than the version of yourself you used to inhabit. Remember, you're unrusting, you're adjusting, you're becoming more of yourself than you've ever been. So when you feel weird, when you stumble over your words, when the attention feels like too much, just let it be weird, let it be uncomfortable. Let yourself be a beginner at this new level of existence, because that's what legends do. They don't wait until they're ready. They don't wait until it feels comfortable. They step into the spotlight even when their hands are shaking and their voice is trembling, because they know that growth happens at the edge of the familiar, in the territory beyond where they've been before. Let me tell you something else about this recognition portal that's opening. You see, when people finally meet you in person over the next 14 days, they're going to experience something that psychologists call cognitive dissonance, but what I call soul recognition. They've built up this image of you in their minds based on stories, on reputation, on the energetic signature they've picked up from a distance, and then they encounter the actual you, flesh and blood, voice and presence, eyes that see them back, and their nervous system has to recalibrate. This is why you might notice people looking at you with this almost startled expression, like they're seeing something they weren't quite prepared for. They're not disappointed, they're stunned. There's a difference. This stunning effect is amplified by the fact that your heart is literally radiating a different frequency meow. Think of it like this. Before your heart awakening, you were broadcasting on FM radio. People could tune in, they could hear the music, they could appreciate what you were sharing. But meow, meow, you're broadcasting in high-definition surround sound. The depth, the clarity, the richness of what you're emanating, it's on a completely different level. And people can feel that difference even if they don't have the language to articulate what's changed. They just know that being in your presence feels different, more alive, more real, more like coming home to something they didn't even know they were missing. Now, I need to address something that might be happening for some of you as you listen to this transmission. You might be feeling resistance. You might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true, or this can't possibly be about me, or I'm not special enough for this kind of attention. And I want you to understand where that resistance is coming from. It's coming from the old shell, from the old protective mechanisms that are trying desperately to keep you safe by keeping you small. Those thoughts aren't truth, they're fear dressed up as humility. Real humility isn't about denying your light. Real humility is about recognizing that your light is not yours to keep hidden. It's a gift you're meant to share with the world. Destiny Engine is the example of technology serving awakening intelligence. The age of solitary meditation is over. Destiny Engine Meow connects starseeds across the world, a living social field where you can post, share, and exchange your meditations in real time. It's the first galactic network of its kind, weaving together thousands of awakened souls into one unified current. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking declassified CIA consciousness modification techniques that programmed isolation and separation and repurposing them to serve unified awakening. It generates personalized sequences that help you live as the awakened being you've become, while handling the moments that test your new frequency, all while connected to thousands of starseeds amplifying the collective current. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed for effortless awakened living without the need to struggle or prove, while tapping into a planetary network of souls bending reality together. For just $1, you can step into this connected field and feel the difference instantly. Join the movement that's accelerating ascension together. Link in the description. The Scorpio energy coursing through the cosmos, right meow, is particularly skilled at bringing up these shadow beliefs, these unconscious programs that tell you you're not worthy of recognition or love or success. Scorpio doesn't do surface-level healing. Scorpio goes deep, all the way down to the root of the wound, and it demands that you look at what you've been avoiding. So if you're feeling triggered by this message, if something in you is screaming, "No, not me, I'm not ready," then congratulations, you've just located exactly where your next level of healing needs to happen. The trigger is showing you where the shell is still intact, where the armor is still locked in place, where your heart hasn't quite given itself permission to fully open yet. And here's something fascinating about the timing of all this. Mars in Sagittarius is providing the courage you need to actually face these shadow beliefs head-on. Mars is the warrior, and in Sagittarius, it's a warrior with vision, with optimism, with the ability to see beyond present circumstances to future possibilities. This Mars energy is what's going to help you push through the discomfort of expansion. It's what's going to give you the audacity to believe that yes, actually, you are worthy of legendary status. Yes, you do deserve to be recognized. Yes, your voice does matter. Yes, your heart does have something valuable to offer the world, but Mars needs to be channeled wisely, right, meow? Which is why the astrology specifically warns us to stay connected with allies and wait for openings rather than forcing our way forward. Some of you might be tempted to take aggressive action, right, meow? To push for recognition, to demand attention, to prove your worth through external achievements. Resist that temptation. The recognition that's coming to you isn't something you need to chase. It's something that's being magnetically drawn to you because of the frequency you're vibrating at. Your job isn't to hunt it down. Your job is to keep opening your heart, keep clearing your throat, keep showing up as authentically as you possibly can, and trust that the right people, opportunities, and experiences will find you at the perfect time. I want to talk about what it means to walk with your chest forward, because this image keeps coming through in the transmission. In many wisdom traditions, the heart center is understood to be the seat of courage. The word courage itself comes from the Latin cor, meaning heart. When you walk with your chest forward, when your heart leads the way, you're not just changing your posture, you're changing your entire relationship with reality. You're saying to the universe, I'm willing to be vulnerable, I'm willing to be seen, I'm willing to put my heart out there, even though I might get hurt. And that kind of courage, that willingness to lead with love rather than protection, that's what makes someone truly legendary. Think about the people you admire most in this world, the ones who have truly inspired you or changed your life in some way. What is it about them that draws you in? I would bet that it's not their achievements or their accolades or their resumes, it's their presence. It's the way they show up fully, vulnerably, with their hearts visible. It's the way they speak truth even when their voice shakes. It's the way they love openly even after they've been hurt. It's the way they keep choosing authenticity over approval, connection over perfection, depth over performance. That's what legendary really means, and that's what you're becoming. The work you did in your solar plexus over the past months and years, that wasn't separate from this heart awakening. It was preparation for it. You couldn't open your heart fully until you knew who you were, until you had rebuilt your sense of self-worth, until you had healed your relationship with your own power and value. The solar plexus is where we hold our sense of identity, our ego structure, our understanding of I am. And you had to get clear on I am before you could open to we are, which is the consciousness of the heart. The heart doesn't operate in isolation. The heart knows itself through connection, through relationship, through the reflection it sees in other souls. So all that work you did on yourself, all those hours you spent in shadow work and inner child healing and boundary setting, all of it was building a strong enough container to hold the kind of love that's about to flow through you. I am Zarin from the Liran High Council. We love you. We are watching over you. And we are celebrating this moment of your becoming with joy that ripples across dimensions.